Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. All right, cool.
A little out of range, so Revive
All
me
right, did
will be a
anybody give us good
challenge.
stuff?
Luckily, Revive
Yeah.
taught me a few tricks. Resurrection spells take a lot of magic. The best source of that here is going to be the essence that Eparch's grunts drop. Bring that essence to me, and I'll do the rest. If it looks like we're about to go down, I'll try to pull us back to Tyria. Hopefully, it'll take us all in time for tea.
Oh, look, somebody's using a mesmer spear. So, I'm back. Just to let people know, I know not that many people watch me, but for those of you that do, you might have wondered where I've
I keep losing all
been.
my concentration. Break this
Uh,
essence into pieces.
Today it will be a week exactly that I got out of the hospital. Uh, I was in the hospital from Tuesday. What what month? What day was that? Let's see. Let's see what day that was. I'm not sure. Okay, from the 17th of September till the 21st. And yeah, so it's been a week since I've been out of the hospital, and that's been interesting. I don't recommend it. The hospital is a place that you just don't want to end up being in because it's just not a good place to be. Uh, so the reason why I was in the hospital, uh, I missed that. I will tell momentarily. I just want to make sure my sound's working. Gotta just double check. Let's see here. Are you guys are you guys hearing my sound? I think you are.
I can feel the demonic essence in those high cryptids. Take them down, and I can throw that.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right. So, so let me turn up the sound just a little bit because you guys don't really hear it that much. So I will turn it up just slightly, but I'll also tell you where I've been. All right, so I was in the hospital. What had happened was on 9/11, actually. Uh, I I have an amazing device that everybody I would recommend get. It's an iWatch. If you don't like Apple products, there are Android versions, plenty of them. But in any event, I have a program on my watch that will tell me my heart rate within probably about five, you know, a range of five being off. And if it's beating too fast, if it's beating too slow, if it's got a flutter, whatever, right? So on 9/11, that that night I had my watch record 22 or 27 times while I was sleeping or attempting to sleep, uh, 27 different times of where it recorded my heart was racing. Now, of those 27, 22 to 27 times it woke me up, there was only maybe 5 to 7 times it actually physically woke me up from a sound sleep. And it wasn't until I got up that morning uh, that I happened to check my phone, And I don't know why my camera's not going. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. All right. Anyways, uh, let me fix this a little bit more. Okay. So anyway, um, uh, while I had recalled being woken up 5 to 7 times that night, it turned out, like I said, once I checked my phone, the records my phone had was 22 to 27 times. Now, I don't know about you, but 22 to 27 times of a phone recording that your heart's racing, that's no bueno. And so I was concerned, and I told my husband Jim that maybe I should go to the ER because uh, that can't be good, right? And so we went to the ER on 9/11, and we were there for, 4 or 5 hours, which is common, being in the ER. You're never in there for less than 4 hours, ever, ever, ever. So we were there for a little over 5 hours. And of course, when I was in the ER, this was on 9/11, when I was in the ER, my heart was beating normally, didn't act up, didn't skip, didn't do anything, didn't race, it behaved itself like it knew, like it was a church heart, like it was behaving itself. And if you wonder what I mean by church heart, it means like church behavior, where basically you don't act up, mind your manners, stay quiet, be good, you know. Anybody that's ever gone to church, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so so my heart wasn't doing any of the things that my watch had recorded it doing. So because of that, they said, well, there's not a whole lot we can do right now because it's not doing anything. So just keep an eye on it, and blah, blah, blah. If it gets worse or if it continues, then definitely come back, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. So we go home. Whoa! Home dude yanked me out of the sky. Shame, shame, shame. Rude, rude, rude. Anyways, so uh, we go home that night. No biggie. You know, I when my heart was racing, I was doing some deep breathing exercises because I I learned how to do that when I would have panic attacks and whatnot. Deep breathing, cleansing breaths and deep breaths and whatnot usually helps slow down your heart rate, calm you down, and all that good stuff, right? Well, I was doing that, and it seemed like it was mostly working, so I wasn't going to sweat it too much. I figured, oh well, maybe I just, fighting a cold or something. My allergies have been bothering me lately, so okay, whatever. Not thinking too much of it. Well, then about a week went by, and seemed okay for the most part. It was my watch was still telling me, oh, it's racing every now and then or something. So, okay. But keeping an eye on it, nothing too major. And then it started happening more frequently. And as it was happening more frequently, my heart was also racing. And it was racing to where basically I wasn't even doing anything and it was racing. It just like decided it wanted to race on its own. Like it was like, hey, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go do something. And don't know what was causing it. Don't know why. I wasn't under any more stress than I've normally been on. Nothing recently arisen to make me, cause for any concern about having my heart racing. Uh, but my heart was acting like I was trying to run a marathon and it was trying to jump out of my chest and go run that marathon. And I wasn't privy to what it was trying to do. So, I told Jim, if it kept up, then we'd go back to the ER because that's what they told us to do. So I didn't do it that time. Oh well. So the night of the 17th, or the night of the 16th, uh, my watch woke me up again another like 10 times or so, and it went off another 22 times. But it the problem was the majority of the time it was going off, it was basically saying it was racing, like nonstop, you know? Like it would say every now and then it would say, oh, they detected a regular heartbeat. I might have AFib, blah, blah, blah. And, um, but the majority of the time the alerts were telling me, hey, your heart's racing. What you doing? Uh, your heart's doing something that it shouldn't be doing. You might want to get it checked out. So, like I said, it woke me up about 10 times. And then I got up that morning and checked, and again, it was like 20 times or more that my phone actually, or my watch and my phone actually recorded my heart was racing. This obviously is not normal. So we went back to the ER, and the ER doctors, uh, well, actually, what had happened was I had a follow up appointment with my regular doctor because when I saw the ER doctor on 9/11, they said, well, make a follow up appointment with your regular doctor so they know that you know what's going on with you. So I had had an appointment with my regular doctor in a different building than we normally see her in, that that just happened to be in a larger jerk, that just happened to be in a larger doctor's office. So our the cardiologist I had seen the week before in the ER, I wasn't going to be able to see him until like October or something. So uh, when uh, when we went to my regular doctor, we told her about my heart beating erratically and not stopping and stuff like that, and how we had been to the ER the week before, and how they had said, oh well, if it keeps going, go to the ER or go see a cardiologist. But our appointment to see a cardiologist was, in October. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, I might not be here in October if I have to wait that long to see a cardiologist. So luckily there was one in the building, and she called them up. And in the meantime, she had taken an EKG of my heart. And then the cardiologist said, come up, get up here in the next 5 minutes. I can see you. So we ran upstairs, and he had said that he had suspected that I had this problem with my heart where basically, long story short, I know, too late, but I had to explain what's been going on. That's not even all of it, but uh, the cardiologist explained that basically my heart uh, short circuiting, which happens sometimes, I guess. I had no idea. My heart was like a modem, but okay. And he said basically what they would need to do, no more essences, so I gotta go throw these in to the kiln or to the pot. Um, so, in any event, uh, he suspected that there was this short in my heart and that there were several options we could do to fix it. I could be on medication for the rest of my life, blood thinners and heart medicine to basically slow down my heart or, correct the heartbeat or whatever. And I could be on those for life, and they might work, they might not. Talking about, he had said that for treating your heart or for treating a lot of things, there's like a pyramid on, you start at the bottom and go up. So the bottom was, put me on heart medicine, put me on blood thinners, yada, 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 see how that works. If it does, and if that doesn't work, then we go to step up. So the first step was the heart medicine. or the blood thinners, right? One or the other. And then the second step was that one and the other one. And then the third step, which is what he recommended, was something called cardiac ablation. Ablation. Yes, I can spell. Anyway, I spelled that out just in case anybody wants to Google it because I'm not going to provide you the information. I think everybody should learn their stuff. So just, educate yourself. It's a cardiac ablation, Ablation. I'm not going to provide you with a bunch of graphics and stuff because that's not my job. But you get it anyways. So, in any event, he said having this done would basically reset my heart. The hope was, rather, the hope was, I hate umbrella, no. So now I have to make a lot of changes here and changes here. Okay, sorry. So, in any event, uh, what the ablation would hopefully do is reset my heart like it was a modem or whatever. And it would fix this racing problem that I was having. So, okay, sure, fine. I mean, whatever we need to do, I want to, whatever we need to do to make me better, I'm all for that, I'm not, I'm, some people are scared of this, that, and the other. I'm not scared of anything if it means I'm going to be around longer. To me, that's worth it. So I said, okay, I'm I'm down with that. And he said, okay, well, since we live basically in BFE, and if you don't know what that is, look it up. I'm not going to tell you because that's not my place either. But basically, out in the boonies, okay? Since basically we live out in the boonies, I would have to be transported to another hospital. Well, originally, the way they made it seem, was that I would go to the ER, our local ER, and get injected with some heart medicine to instantly, uh, instantly slow down my heart. Make it chill. So that sounded fine. And then he said, and then you'll have to go up to Washington D.C. because that's where all the our good hospitals are, I guess, in this area, which isn't, you know, I've gone to ones in Baltimore that I know are good, but he said DC's got good ones too, and I have no doubt because they have to, because I mean, capital of the country. So okay, he says you have to go up there, or you have to go to ER, get a shot, slow down your heart, and then on Wednesday, this was Tuesday, on Wednesday you will have this ablation done. Okay. And he's like, it's an outpatient procedure. You'll be going home the same day, yada, yada, yada. Okay, fine. Sounds okay to me. You know, I'll be maybe in the hospital a couple days. It's cool, to get it done. It'll be behind me. I won't have to worry about it. Life goes on. Okay, fine, fine. So we go to the ER, and this time they let us in right away. Like, I felt like we were in a fancy restaurant and we had, you know, some kind of uh some kind of clout or something. Oh, I don't want that kind of clout, trust me. But so I got into a room right away and they got an IV in my arm right away and they gave me this stuff. Okay, cool. So, rock on. That's awesome. I'm getting this stuff, and my heart's slowing down, which is good because when I got to the hospital, my heart was at 144 beats per minute. Now, considering I was sitting doing absolutely nothing, that's not good. So, they gave me the medication, and it seemed to work. And then we were left alone for a while, and I wondered, okay, well, ah, garbage. Ah, no, I'm a wisp. No, I will try to heal all you people. I'll try to be good, I promise. I hate being a wisp, but that's alright. Anyways, um, hang on.
An ancient mountain.
Uh, no, 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 no. Okay. So they gave me the medication, and then we were left alone. And I had assumed wrongly that
Join me. Use a hand over here.
I would be going home then, and then driving up to DC first thing in the morning, yada yada, right? Well, yeah, that didn't happen. What actually happened was they said, okay, we are waiting for you to be able to get a room up at the DC hospital, and until you do, you're not going anywhere. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. That was not what I thought was going to happen. I figured, we would be going up Wednesday morning, easy peasy, whatever. No. So I was not going home. So this was a little bit disconcerting to me. And hubby's calling, so I will be right back. Sorry, I thought I had unmuted me, but I didn't. So, what I was yelling at, in case you were not being able to read my lips, I said Umbriel is on top of Zoja. Umbriel needs to get some manners and not be so rude, and at least buy Zoja dinner first, because that's rude.
That feels better.
Come on, I don't need your little glowy eye. No, I don't. People are dying. This is not good. I will continue with my story after we kill all these numbskulls, if we kill all these numbskulls. Because right now Zosha's doing good, but we know that that could turn on a frickin' dime in a second. Alright, we're good. We're good. Yeah, we're alright. We're good. We're alright. Yeah, we're good. Alright. Whee! Alright.
This is not my scene. Let's head back.
Um,
Breathe in some fresh air.
alright. So, so we're in the local. Ooh, okay. Nope, nothing good. Okay, sorry. So we're in the local hospital, trying to wait to
Look at this.
hear,
So pretty.
uh, waiting to hear when I can go up the road to DC hospital, to the DC hospital they want me to go to, and a couple hours later, still don't hear anything, and uh, and then about 5:30, 6 o'clock, we get the news that there is no room at the inn, or basically the hospital has no spot room for me. So the local hospital has to admit me because for some reason they don't want me to go home. I guess because my heart was beating so crazy they're afraid something would happen at the house, and if something happened at the house then they would be liable, which I get now reflecting, but at the time I'm like, I want to go home, really? So, in any event, so uh they admitted me, and I went upstairs and had a very nice room to myself and thought it was kind of nice. Although the thing that I didn't understand, and I still don't understand, is hospitals, I swear to you, the whole misnomer that you don't get any rest in a hospital. God, that's not true. I don't know. Because the first night I was in the hospital, they gave me this little like welcome kit that I didn't even really look at because I wasn't expecting to stay that long. And
I want that.
but when I was about to go into my room, they weighed me in the hallway. Okay. Now, I had no restrictions to eat or anything like that, but they probably figured I wasn't going to want to eat hospital food because most people don't. So, if I wanted my husband to go get me something to eat for dinner, I could. So I did. And he went to go get me something to eat, and that was fine. And I had a chicken Caesar from Wendy's, and it was good. But uh, they weighed me before I even entered my room in the local hospital. Figured it was procedure, no biggie. This was like around 7:30, 8 o'clock Tuesday night. Okay, fine, good, whatever, you know. And then they didn't have all the medications that I was on, but they gave me what they did have, and I fell asleep. And I actually was pretty comfortable for the most part. It was slightly chilly, but it was nice for the most part. I had blankets, and I fell asleep. And 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody comes knocking on my door, turning on the lights. I'm like, wait, is this a raid? What's going on? Evidently, they must have thought that my husband had somehow snuck in a side of beef or the whole buffet from Golden Corral or what. That's the only buffet I can think of. But, choose a buffet. And my husband just kind of like brought it all in under his coat or something. Because 3 o'clock in the morning, they're waking me up, weighing me again. Now, why they thought I suddenly had ballooned up in 7, 8 hours time from previously weighing me. I have no idea. I didn't feel I weighed anymore. My rings weren't, I was still able to pull them off fine, nothing was puffy or anything. Um, Sorry, a friend of mine was responding to me for something. So I was a little annoyed at this because I was sleeping pretty sound. But it is what it is. Hospitals will be hospitals. And then I was still kind of tired. And so I was still sleeping. And uh, I had breakfast, which consisted of a banana, a blueberry muffin that was about this big, um, one piece of toast that was actually about this big. I was really surprised. It was about that thick, too. I was really surprised. And bacon. And the bacon was nice and crispy the way I like it. It wasn't like, just because I'm not a big fan of bacon, but if I want bacon, I want it crispy, just like, you know, and it was very good. Saved some for Jim because, I'll do that. And that was my breakfast. And I wasn't very hungry, but it was enough. And then they were saying that chances are I wasn't going to get a room on Wednesday either because the truth of it all was that even though doctors down here where I live are hopeful that I could easily get sent up the road to the Washington D.C. hospitals. The truth of the matter is they are very much in demand and they only have so much room, and as a result you have to hurry up and wait, and it could be up to 48 hours before you're got a slot. So I just figured, okay, I'm gonna be down at the hospital down here for a couple days. Well, no. About lunchtime, my husband's like, well, if you're not gonna be going anywhere today, then I'm gonna go to work and this, that, and the other. Okay, fine. So bye, honey. Love you too. That's that. So I figured, well, if I'm not going anywhere today, I might as well get a little bit more of a nap because I was very tired because I don't know about you, but your heart racing with you not doing anything to make it race, it can be a little exhausting. So I fell asleep, and around 1 or 2 o'clock, my nurse comes in and she says, I'm sorry to wake you, but they originally called me to tell me that they would have a room today around 7, but then they called me back an hour later and said they'll be coming to pick you up between 4:30 and 5. And I looked at my watch. It was 3:55. So I said, "Well, all right." So I called up my husband and said, "Hubby, you have to come here and get my stuff because I guess I'm leaving soon." So they had told her between 4:15, 4:30. Well, the truth of the matter is it was pouring down rain that day, and since the ambulance was not in, you know, emergency mode, it was just transport mode. They didn't run the sirens, which they're not supposed to if it's unless it's an emergency, rightfully so. And so they were late picking me up by about an hour, and it took us almost 2 hours to get back up there because we live normally with no traffic. It's 80 to 90 minutes one way, but with rain and or traffic, yeah, it took us almost 2 hours to get there. So we pull in, and it was kind of cool though because when we went around the one corner, it stopped raining enough. We went around the one corner, and all of a sudden, I'm seeing through because I'm face backwards going in the ambulance, right? So I'm traveling backwards. Any of you who ever had a station wagon or a minivan or whatever as a kid and had a seat backwards, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so I'm going backwards down the road, you know, and what do I see but Capitol building, the U.S. Capitol building. I'm sure you've all seen it. So that was like, wow. And the ambulance driver, he was kind of amazed that I was amazed. And I'm like, look, I've lived here over 20 years in this area. It's still not going to impress me because it's just so freaking huge. Okay? It's a huge, huge dome. Okay? It doesn't look real because of how it's lit and because it's just so huge and just, sorry, it's always going to impress me because it's just like, wow. It doesn't look real. I mean, you see it on TV, you see it in pictures. It's not the same when you see it in person. It's huge, okay? Sorry, it just is. And so it will always impress me. Any kind of enormous structure is going to impress me. I stood at the base of the Washington Monument, and that impressed me too because holy crap, it was big. Doesn't look that big on TV or in pictures, but it's big. Anyways, I digress. So we get to the hospital. They take me through the ER, and the ER, wow. So to explain to you how the ER was, the ER, uh, I thought there was like uh, a bus wreck or some kind of major accident or something because, all right, why didn't that, okay, there it goes. Sorry, I don't know why I didn't do it the first time. Um, there were so many people in the ER. Like it was just it was like TV ER because it's just like there was jam packed full of people everywhere. Uh, hang on. So, um, luckily because, I had a room already registered and whatnot, I didn't have to go through the whole ER process and crap like I did when I was down here. So they took me upstairs and, you know, then I got off the gurney and then I walked into my room and then I had my room. So uh, then some doctors had come in and they had said that they would try, operative word try, they, they would try to do my ablation on Thursday, but I was an addition or an add on to their list of people they were going to operate on as a result, or, perform a procedure on. So as a result, um, they may or may not get to me. So I waited most of Thursday to see if they were going to do me on Thursday. Now that don't sound right, and goodness, I'm sorry, that sounds really bad. So let me rephrase that. uh, they uh, they didn't decide whether or not they were going to um, hold on. Okay. Uh, they were going to decide whether or not they were going to have have me have the procedure done. However, the problem was that where is it? There it is. Okay. The problem was that uh, about 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock, the nurse came in, or the one doctor's assistant came in and said basically that there were 5 people ahead of me in line on Thursday. Chances are I wasn't gonna get my procedure done on Thursday, so um, I understood that. But what I didn't understand was the fact that then the bad news came. The bad news being that uh, Friday was a a conference. Okay? So, because it was a conference, they decided they were not going to do any any procedures on Friday. So then what? So then I thought, okay, well, I doubt very much they're going to let me go home. So then uh, they said I would be on the list to have my procedure done on Monday, which meant, drum roll please, that I would be in the hospital the whole frickin' weekend. Well, needless to say, I started to cry because by now it had already been Thursday. It was already Thursday. I'd already been in the hospital 2 days when I wasn't even counting on being in the hospital at all. Okay. And now they're telling me I'm going to be in like 3 or 4 more days before I can even have this procedure done. So, oh my God, are you kidding me with this BS? So needless to say, I was not pleased. And they said, well, hopefully that wasn't the case. Well, then, a few hours after that, the same doctor came in and said, it's not 100%, but some doctors have said because there were several of us that were add ons uh, for procedures on Thursday, and they were going to end up not being able to be done until Monday because, you know, of this doctor's conference. Uh, they decided instead to, um, they had decided instead to either forego uh, the conference or to come after the conference. But we didn't know when. And so we just had to wait and see what was going to happen. Okay. So I wasn't holding out hope that we were going to get any doctors that were going to decide they didn't want to do this conference thing and instead come and do surgeries and procedures on those of us that got added on at the last minute. But luckily I was proven wrong, and there was, I think, 2 or 3 doctors that came from the conference around around 11 or right before lunchtime, and they were there to do the procedures. So I was happy about that, and I had my procedure done around, I think it was around 4, I think, 3 or 4. But because it was so far for me to travel to go home, they decided to keep me overnight, which kind of bummed me out a bit because I was ready to go home. But I understood the precautions, so. But they said, unless anything had changed, if all of my symptoms had pretty much got fixed from the ablation, then I could go home on Saturday. So Saturday came, and after the ablation, uh, um, they, I was still hooked up to machines and everything, but my heart wasn't racing anymore. I was doing much better. Um, I didn't feel like my heart was trying to run a marathon anymore. They had found a flutter, which is also what my watch was reporting. That I might have AFib, and that they didn't call it AFib because they don't think it's AFib necessarily, but they found a little flutter, which they said can happen sometimes. So they put me on blood thinners and a heart medicine to help with the flutter. And then on Saturday, I came home. And I've been home since a week ago today, but it's been a little bit hard for me because I've been very tired. And up until yesterday, they went up through the femoral artery in my thigh. And needless to say, for me, it felt like somebody had taken a big bowie knife and stabbed me in the thigh with it. That's what it felt like. And today is the first day that I'm not feeling that any pain there anymore. So progress, progress, and I'm happy about that. But yeah, so I've been dealing with that, and I've been dealing with some side effects of the new medication because oh, I guess not. All right. So, anyways, silly. Okay. Anyways, so uh, I my watch hasn't recorded anything unusual since my procedure last Friday, so that's good. But I'm on blood thinners and I'm on a low dose heart medication right now, and I've already had two doctor's appointments, and the first one was on Wednesday, and my blood pressure was 96 over 67, which is not the greatest. And I was concerned because I don't normally have high blood pressure. I haven't ever had high blood pressure. So to be on blood pressure medicine kind of scared me a little bit because I'm like, you can have too low blood bleh, words. You can have too low blood pressure also. So they told me to just, keep an eye on it because my watch will let me know too if it's too low. But then on Thursday, I went to another doctor and my blood pressure was, hang on, I gotta check again. My blood pressure was 109 over 72. So 109 over 72. So that was more normal. So things are getting back to normal. So yay. And today's the first day in a week that I've felt like I wasn't half dying. So progress, good progress. However, uh, my watch has started to let me know that my heart's starting to skip a little bit again. So that's not good. But I'm hoping it's just my body getting used to things and whatnot. But I mean, I'll keep an eye on it. But uh, one thing that saved me, and one thing that I can tell you, I mean, I'm only 53, and knock on wood, this is the first real scare of any kind of health problem I've ever had. However, one of the things that saved me was my watch. Now, granted, my watch is not a state of the art, newest model, you know, all the bells and whistles watch. It is a older model. It's an iWatch 3, so it's not, you know, the most up-to-date model by any stretch of the imagination. But even with my iWatch 3, it uh, it helped let me know what was going on with my heart. And for that, I'm grateful because had it not, I mean, like, I could, you can feel your heart's beating funny or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But you don't really know unless you have something that's measuring it, you know. And luckily I did. And so I think it's a valuable tool to have. And to me, the fact that it helped me with my health problem and helped me basically alert myself that hey, something's going on, you need to get checked out. It wasn't just, me being like, I'm not a hypochondriac, and I'm one of those people that, unless I'm basically dying of pain, kind of, I I don't take pain pills even over the counter. I just that stuff wreaks havoc with your internal organs and your stuff like that, and I I don't want that. So I don't take stuff unless I absolutely have to. But the fact that my watch was telling me over and over again, "Hey, your ticker's got an issue. You should go get it checked," that was enough for me that I thought, well, you know, I better go get it checked. So I am grateful for my watch that it alerted me of the problems I was having. And I could have sworn, oh no, 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 okay. Um, so I am grateful for my watch telling me about the problems that I was having with my heart. Because even though, like, I could feel it beating funny, but I didn't really think too much of it. And I've had panic attacks before, so it, it didn't feel like a panic attack, okay? And and when I did feel it like racing a little bit, I uh, I tried deep breathing exercises um, to kind of like you know slow it down and whatnot, and none of that seemed to help it. So the fact that none of that seemed to help it told me that it wasn't just like stress or, just some kind of funky imbalance, that no, it was in fact something that I probably should go see somebody about because it's something that's out of my control. And it was. And so I am grateful for my watch for uh, alerting me of the problems, because as a result, I got seen and I'm doing better. Although it's told me today a few times that my heart's fluttering again, so I don't like that. But it could also just, it might not be anything too serious because of the fact that I've been fighting some allergies lately, so that could be part of it. But I will definitely keep an eye on it for sure. But if it weren't for my watch, my heart could have like done something a lot more serious, or it could have just, because the way it was that my heart was basically at a constant between 120 and 145 beats per minute constantly. It wasn't slowing down. It wasn't going below 120. And that's a problem. And um, when it first started on 9/11, it wasn't, it was it would happen here or there. There was nothing that triggered it. There was nothing that I could do to stop it or trigger it. It just was random, you know? But then last week it stopped being random and ended up being all the time. And that's not good, because if your heart stays in that racing status or that racing rhythm, eventually it could cause something like a stroke or something worse than that. That's what the ER doctors said. They weren't so worried about a heart attack, they were more worried about me having a stroke. So that's kind of scary too. But in any event,
I want that.
I got taken care of and I'm doing better for the most part. Now I am going to keep an eye on this flutter to make sure that it doesn't work out into something worse. But but I am feeling better, and hopefully this is the end of it where I won't have to worry about anything else, you know, for a while. Let's hope. But sorry, checking my stuff. Okay. So hopefully between the medicines I'm on and them basically resetting my heart, that of course it's gone now because Yeah, of course it's gone now. Because why not? Why wouldn't it? Why would it stay? Of course not. But anyway, sorry. There was a major code and chest here that I didn't have a key for, so I went to go get a key and now it's gone. So there's that. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But so hopefully with them doing the cardiac ablation, Ablation, in case you want to look it up. Um, Between them doing that and me being on these new medications, it is the hope that my heart is basically taken care of for the most part and I'll be okay. If it's not, then we'll go from there. But at least for now, my heart's not doing that racing thing anymore. And I'm feeling much better. And that's the important thing because if I wasn't feeling better, then that would be bad news bears, you know? But luckily, come on, let me go. I don't want to fight with you, you pieces of cockadoodle. Let me go. Thank you. All right. So, so I'm feeling better, and in fact, today was the first day, and I've been home a week today because I actually got home a week ago today from the hospital. That today is the first day I actually feel, for the most part, normal. Last night I didn't feel good. I actually went to bed around 7:30. I just didn't feel good. But, but that being said, I suspect that part of why I was sick yesterday had to do with the fact that I had some fresh grapes and it seemed like within a half an hour of eating these fresh grapes, stomach just didn't feel good at all. So I went to bed and I never even ate dinner last night or anything. I just no bueno, you know. And but I woke up today feeling much better. So and feeling normal. Hence why I'm streaming finally. But I I figured it would be easier for me to stream and to tell what's been going on than to try to tell everybody individually because it got a little bit exhausting after a while trying to tell everybody what's been going on, and I don't really like talking about it too much, but I figured if I talk about it once then I won't have to talk about it anymore. And hubby's calling again, so I'll be right back again. All right, sorry about that. So I'm feeling much better, and hopefully that will continue, and then I won't have to worry anymore about uh, the situation with my heart, at least for a while, because it was a little scary, I'm not gonna lie. But by the same token, I am one of those that I try to be pretty in tune with my body, and if it's doing something a little funky, I usually try to pay attention to it because I don't want it to develop into something worse. So I would rather, like the procedure I had done was minor for the most part, okay? So I would rather go through this minor procedure now than to go through a crap ton more, like if I had a heart attack or stroke or whatever. If I can be proactive and, have something preventative done now, then that's better than me having to play repair work later, if that makes sense.
You okay? I'm looking up. Oh, snuck up on me there. Take it you're a fellow mushroom enthusiast? Join me in foraging. Easier work with two. Just pick them, then taste test to see if
I'm
they're any
fast
good.
as the wind. Are they safe?
The mushrooms? They're mellow. Oh,
Oh dear.
Need to stop getting into these situations.
I've never found the golden mushroom and I don't want to look it up because I want to try to find it on my own,
roast that
but
one with some fresh
I
butter.
probably never will. So, yeah.
Need to stop getting into these situations.
I'll wash myself off. I'm okay now. So yeah, that's what's been going on in my life. Long ass story. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Wait, 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 wait. What was that? Is that one? Oh, okay. I was hoping it might be. Was hoping it might be golden, but no such luck. Oh well. But uh, but yeah. So that's what's been going on in my life for the last couple weeks and why I haven't been streaming. Um, it's easier for me to just explain wanting done and then instead of having to explain to everybody individually. So now you know. And if you came late, you don't know what I'm talking about, you can watch the on demand later and see what I'm talking about. Basically, I was in the hospital for 4 or 5 days. 5 days. Well, 4.5 days. And had to have a procedure done. And then I had it done. And now I'm home. And I've been home a week. And glad to be home. And that's all there is about that. So, I am map completing again because I suspect that once we get the third map, there may be um, some sort of exchange we'll have to do if we ah, if we decide we want to do the spear or the legendary spear or the legendary back piece. And for those of you that are not aware, with Janthier Wilds, the newest expansion by from Guild Wars 2, and I'm gonna get my butt handed to me because I'm getting this wood, and I don't care because I need the wood because wood.
Look at this.
Um,
Maybe they'll think
yeah, hush up. I'm gonna kill all y'all just because you couldn't leave me alone. You couldn't let me be. Now you're all gonna get a little taste of my necrosis. Come on, little wolfie. Come on. Give you a taste of my necro goods. Um, but there is going to be a new spear, a new legendary spear, and a new legendary back piece. With this expansion. The legendary back piece will not be revealed until next year, at least. But at least as of now, from what they've said, um, with the
And now the fun
I'll be
begins.
back.
Ready to grow big and strong, little sproutling?
Yeah, impressive. Oh, impressive indeed. You have the spark. Hmm. Your skill is remarkable. Nearly ward level
Do hate
caliber.
seeing them. Nearly. You don't say.
I admit, your respect for your craft shines through in the results. The trees stand strong, brimming with health.
I don't take my responsibility to them lightly. And now the fun begins. Ready to grow big and strong, little sproutling?
Yeah, impressive. Oh, impressive indeed. You have the spark. Hmm.
Just a little help growing into yourself.
The attention to detail is exquisite.
All right, sorry about that, guys. Uh, so yeah, I hope everybody's having a good weekend so far. Uh, I am for the most part, although I can tell you that um,
I'm fast as the wind.
because of everything that's gone on and whatnot, I get tired a lot easier right now. But I think that's just to be expected because, in case you didn't look up what the ablation is, basically what they do is they go in with, what is it called? Let me look it up. I saved it on my phone so I could know what it's called, so I'm not like in the dark. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Uh, 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 uh. What is it called? What is it called? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. No. Uh, come on. Seriously. Are you kidding me? I had it saved on my phone so I could tell you guys exactly what it was. And of course, now it's not on my phone because, reasons. Um, I don't know. I'm not seeing it anywhere. So, go figure. Go figure. But anyway, it was radio, some kind of radio frequency energy thing that they zapped my heart with. And like I said, the cardiologist said to long story short, or to sum up, what they did was basically they reset my heart because my heart was short circuiting, uh, and basically just racing and not stopping. So it was the it was the hope that them zapping my heart basically reset it so now it will beat like a normal heart should. And that's the end of that. But I've been doing map completion in the Janthir Wilds maps in part because I want to make the new legendary spear because I'm not a fan of the fish stick spear that we currently have, and no offense against it. I know it's a lovely spear, but I am not a fan of the fish aesthetic. Um, Nothing against it. I mean, sure, it's nice, whatever, yada yada, but it's not something that I want as a legendary. Um, I've made some legendaries just so I have a legendary of that kind, but excuse me. I can also tell you that my first legendary dagger was the Claw of Connor, and I did not like it after I made it. And no, no disrespect for Char, no disrespect for the theme of it or anything like that. Nothing but love. Nothing but love on the channel. But I didn't like the effects, and I didn't like. I don't know. I just wasn't a fan. So I was always reskinning it because I just wasn't happy with the effects. It wasn't enough for me to want to use. So, and I'm sorry, but I'm a shiny-itis person. I have shiny-itis very badly. My husband can attest to this fact. In case you're not aware, shiny-itis is basically, uh, to put it bluntly, you like shiny objects, you like shiny effects, you like things that are pretty, you want to be sparkly and beautiful and all the things. So you make legendaries for the effects and all kinds of good stuff like that. Okay? And so yeah, I've got shiny-itis pretty bad. There is no cure for shiny-itis except to make more shiny things. So there's that. But I don't making the Claw of Connor, I made that because I wanted a legendary dagger and because I don't like Incinerator. I know, shocker. Everybody loves Incinerator. They all think it's the greatest, it's such cool, blah, blah, blah. I'm not one of those people. I'm sorry. I've just, I guess because at 12 years of my working life, I worked in a factory and used tools all day and worked with my hands all day and was around a few blowtorches and things of that nature all day. So as a result, I don't really jive with, you know, wielding something that reminds me of that hard job I had for 12 years, you know, as a shiny. It's just not something that I really, I mean, I'm not, I'm grateful for my job, and I was grateful for the family that hired me. They were the same ones that employed my father for 35 years, and were very good to him. And they were at my wedding, the surviving members. They were at my wedding and whatnot. but it wasn't an easy job. It wasn't a fun job. Um, there were some very rough moments of it. For example, I worked in this one room where we worked with chemicals that basically we had to work where there were vented tables. If you don't know what a vented table is, it is basically because of the fact that there were so many hazardous fumes that we worked with. We didn't have to wear masks, but because there was so much of the fumes and whatnot that were into the air when we used these solvents, we had to work on ventilated tables, which were basically um, tables that had a metal surface that were just, they looked like polka dots. It was like a corrugated steel that had holes in it, so it was like a polka dotted tabletop. And then that was over the top of it. And then underneath that was a huge ventilation system that sucked all the air from the room. And not enough to, like, blow your hair or anything like that, but enough to suck the hazardous chemicals from the air. And so I worked in that room most of the time, and it wasn't the smell. After a while, you know, you didn't smell it anymore. But when I first started working there, I used to hate working there first thing in the morning because the smell of it would make me sick to my stomach. But then after working there a while, you just got used to it and it wasn't a big deal. But um, the other thing about these solvents that I used was you had to wear a cotton glove, or what they called a pallbearer glove, a cotton liner, and then you had to wear a plastic glove over it. And it was because the solvents that you used, uh, in part, the solvents that you used made your hands very, very cold because it had to be in a cool room too. It couldn't be in a warm room because the solvents needed to be cool. They couldn't be warm because then the composition of them would change. But the other thing is they were very corrosive. So after a fashion, uh, you would develop holes in your gloves because eventually the corrosiveness of it would. Because see, what we would do is we would take we made these pads. Now I know that sounds funny, but we worked at the factory that I worked in. We made pneumatic air sanders, and if you don't know what that is, you can look it up. I'm not going to explain it to you, but basically, instead of having an um, electric powered tool, ours were run by air, like air compression. Well, we would make the pads, and the pads that we used, they had a metal plate that
Thank you, friend.
they had a
This
metal
won't
plate and
have
then
too long.
rubber glued to it. Sometimes a couple different layers of rubber, and we made those pads. And so not only did we glue the rubber together and then to the plates, but then we had to clean up the pads because, as I'm sure you could understand, um, uh, we wanted the pads leaving the factory clean, not looking like, we slathered a bunch of glue on them and whatnot. And so we had to clean the sides of the plates and whatever with these rags doused in this solvent. And but the metal plates were, like a quarter of an inch thick, but they had some sharp edges sometimes. And when we were rubbing, if our gloves slightly ran across those square edges, it might leave like a microscopic tear or something. And as a result,
Faster without your help.
it would also cause our
Going
gloves
to take this
to
opportunity to
get
get some much needed
holes in
rest.
them, so we'd have
Here's
to
to you.
replace them. But the reason why I was bringing up the glove thing is because if you didn't wear gloves, When I first started working there, I thought I was a know-it-all kid that didn't need gloves because I was a kid and I was strong and I was okay and I didn't need a glove, right? Kids don't need gloves. We're too super tough. We don't need anything, right? Yeah, well, lesson number one in being a stupid kid. So the first summer I worked there, I decided I didn't want to wear gloves because, ew, gloves. So I decided not to. And after 3 weeks of working in this room with these solvents and whatnot, uh, I had noticed that I was developing very dry hands, which I didn't think too much of at the time because, I knew that, that could happen. But then they got so dry that, and I have to describe it this way because it's the only way you're going to understand. I know you probably haven't never really paid attention much to your hands, but they have a lot of little wrinkles on your fingers. And here's the thing. My hands were so dry that imagine all the little wrinkles, even the little tiny, tiny wrinkles, they all split open and bled. Even the little tiny ones you can barely see. Yeah. So that hurt a lot. And you never realize how many uh, how many lotions and just basic things like water and soap uh, really, really, really sting. And so yeah, that was not good. And it got to the point where even wearing gloves in this room, it didn't help. It just my hands were just so dry and and I couldn't find any lotion to seem to help, heal them. Even like the really thick pasty lotions and stuff, they um they weren't helping my hands and they hurt my hands and they stung. They stung so bad. And ended up being it was my mother that found something that helped me. It's called Cornhuskers lotion. I don't know if I have any here. I used to. I don't think I do anymore. I don't see it. I used to have some, but I don't see it, so I might not have any more. Uh, yes, I do. I do. I do. I do. Okay. So, stupid young 15-year-old me thinking I know everything about everything, ended up knowing nothing about nothing. This stuff right here, I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully you can. Um, let's see. Can you see it? I'm going to double check because I can't tell. Nope. Oh, let's see. Okay. Can you see it if I bring it up to you? Maybe if I bring it back. Okay, there you go. There you go. Okay, so see this stuff? Cornhuskers lotion. Okay. This stuff saved my hands. And it looks like crap. It looks like, I don't know. Some people say it looks like stuff that comes out of your nose. I don't know. It's not green. It's like a pale yellow. But in any event, this stuff saved my hands. Um, I if it weren't for that stuff, I don't know what I would have done. But doesn't smell. It doesn't. I mean, like it doesn't have a smell to it. It doesn't. It's not creamy or anything like that. But it doesn't. It didn't sting, and it healed all the little abrasions and all the little wrinkles in my skin that were split open and bled. It was the only thing that helped my hands, and so I am eternally grateful to the makers of that product. Saved my hands. So if you ever happen to get dry hands or dry skin to where it's so dry that it basically splits open your skin and bleeds, then yeah, I highly recommend that stuff. But I am actually going to log in a few minutes because I have to go walk my dog because he's giving me the potty looks. And any of you that have a dog know the potty look. Potty look is not, I love you look. The potty look is, Mom, we need to go outside now because if we don't, then you're going to have a mess to clean up. And then you're going to be mad at me. And you shouldn't be mad at me because I tried to warn you. So, yeah. So that's the potty look. And he's giving me the potty look with big sad eyes like, please, Mom, I'm trying to tell you. So I want to heed his warning and take him outside before we have an accident to deal with. But thank you for joining my TED Talk. And hopefully the worst is behind me now and I'll be able to stream more and whatnot. But thank you all for tuning in and thank you for listening. And I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. And thank you for your support and my love to you. Have a good one, everybody.